Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
On today's show, we head up to Willowbank Raceway on the outskirts of Brisbane for round 5 of the 2018-19 400 Thunder Drag Racing Series. It's the Super Thunder, and today we feature all the action from Pro Stock, Top 5 and Pro Alcohol. Then we head into the Speedweek studios for the final round of Speedweek E-Series Season 2, powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PlayStation 4. Today our pro gamers and pro drivers take on the Monza Circuit in Italy and Mount Panorama Bathurst. And speaking of the mountain, that's where we head later in the show, as the production sports cars attempt to conquer the holy grail of Australian motorsport as part of the Hi-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour. This is Speedweek.
Welcome to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. It's Good Friday, looking like a great Friday with racing. Today we've got Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock, we've got Performance Wholesale Top Bike, and we've got some fantastic All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol. It's all on the card, one big show here at Willowbank. Now Pro Stock is where it's all been. A guy that's had no luck but bad luck is down there with Rusty Gregory.
Well, coming into this event, Tyrone Tremaine is third in the Pro Stock 400 Thunder Championship. There's a little bit more pressure this weekend, being that this is the Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock Spectacular. It is the family company sponsoring the event this weekend. Does that give you any more pressure to succeed?
Oh, mate, it'd be good to, you put a lot of money in it to be here for this event, so it'd be good to try and take some of it home with us.
A little bit of frustration creeping in testing coming into the event. You're thinking that the engine might be a little bit down on power, which is not necessarily a good thing in these conditions that we've got today.
Yeah, mate, we had a bit of an electrical issue last meeting that we know what happened, we've fixed that, but the motor just doesn't seem quite as good as what it should be, but we'll just get out there and see what it can do.
Let's have a look where they are on the points table. It's Victorian Chris Soldata still on top, but Aaron Tremaine's not far behind. Tyrone Tremaine's got a bit of distance to make up. Then it's Western Australian Jody Racco and Wayne Daly, the Queenslander, to round out the top 5. Go straight into round 1 of Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock, and Mark, it's a really strong field on the 3-round all-run system.
Yeah, we've got 8 cars here competing today in Pro Stock. As we see our first pairing up, it'll be teammates taking on each other again, Robin, Wayne Daly and Jody Racco.
Well, the weather has been sort of threatening along the coast. There's been rain in Brisbane, but out here at Willowbank Raceway, just some light cloud. The conditions for Pro Stock, not all that bad at all, Mark.
I'd have to agree with you there, Rob, because so far this season we've had hot summer days, 40-degree track temps. It's been greasy. The tracks have been a little bit slippery for these cars, but today here at Willowbank Raceway, we've got cool conditions, atmospheric-wise. It's great. I'm thinking we're probably going to see the quickest passes we've seen so far this season in Pro Stock.
And what about this pairing? It's the teammates. Wayne Daly on right of screen, Jody Racco on the left, the two Diamond T Custom Toolboxes cars, but Jody Racco has owned it this season. Racco's got the jump. I don't think Daly will get him. Jody Racco's done it again. 7:08 beats a 7:11 despite, well, you know, Daly's got power, but he just can't get the win line.
Yeah, as we watch the replay here, Daly had the whole shot. The good thing about this pass for Daly is they have been battling tyre shakes, so they got through that zone. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the win here, but you've got to take the positives that they didn't have any shake. They got down the track. The chutes were out early, but it was teammate Jody Racco getting the win here in this first round of racing.
Yeah, well, Matt Kavanagh's got him down in the braking area.
We'll just grab you quickly, Jody. You've got the boss again by just the narrowest of margin. We're talking like 0.004 of a second.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Listen, once again, a great race. To be able to come out here and just go rounds is fantastic. And listen, Wayne carts my car around. He lets me stay at his house. He cooks me food, and then I come out here and do that. But fantastic race, mate. Really great.
I think Jody Racco might end up living in a tent if he keeps beating the boss like that.
I think that's 4-0 for Racco now. As we move on to the next pairing for Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock Eliminator, we got Tyrone Tremaine on screen for Mega Bulk Fuels. We're in car here with him. You can see the Liberty gearbox there shifted beside him. He'll shift that 5 times on the pass.
Doesn't he look calm? No stress. Just waiting for the signal to go into stage. They're out the back of the car, adjusting the wheelie bars. He's up against Brian Purcell, down from Mackay in the Andergrove store car. Now, Purcell's got plenty of horsepower under the bonnet. It all comes from Next Gen Engineering. Did you hear the RPM on that thing?
Yeah, there was issues there for Tremaine. He's actually gone through the start line. Both cars have gone through, Rob. Neither
car was on the start line when the starter through the switch. There is no race between those two. I mean, we could hear the revs. The revs just went right through the roof there for Tyrone Tremaine.
I think something's failed inside that car. Just the way the car launched there, and it just took off. You can see he's got his hand up. He's thinking about what's just going on.
Now, normally these things go on in a 2-step rev limiter where it will hold the revs to, like 8,000 RPM or something like that, and then once you floor it, it'll go up. But that's right up over 10,000 RPM. Now, there is no winner. Neither of them accepted a green. They'll both get lose points, so they'll get 5 points each. No ET points. That's really going to make it tough for either of those two to go through to the championship final later.
Oh man, I can't catch a break, eh? Seriously, I'm just over it. I'm just over it. I have no idea.
You can hear the frustrations there from Tyrone Tremaine. Luckily, though, we will see him back out here in round 2 for Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock, and hopefully they can get that sorted. But on-screen, brother now, Aaron Tremaine, backing up from his burnout in their Next Gen Engineering Mega Bulk Fuels Pro Stocker, and he'll be taking on the local Paul Beecham for Beecham Motorsport.
Well, I said before that Tyrone Tremaine's, the only luck he's had has been bad. It looks like that streak's continuing for him. Now it's up to his brother to see whether he can, sneak towards the lead of the championship. He's a multi-time winner, the defending champ, but at the moment he's number 2 in the points. And as Paul Beecham, local Brisbane racer, tends to only run here at Willowbank, but got the potential for upset here. Well, this looks all Tremaine. Got the jump, and look at the speed advantage from the Mega Bulk Fuels car. 7:03. Man, that's not bad in these conditions, Mark.
That's a great pass for Aaron Tremaine there. That's the quickest pass so far that we've seen today here in Pro Stock. That's low ET at the moment. And he's got his hand a little bit around the bonus points here at the moment. As we watch the replay, the car got out smooth. That was a really good pass from the team.
Yeah, Paul Beecham struggled a little off the line by the look of that. The car just didn't want to behave in first or second gear. And by then, Aaron Tremaine for Megabulk Fuels and Next Gen Engineering, he was long gone.
Yeah, Beecham actually made a little move about 60 metres out, so it looked like he had to sort of roll off the throttle a little bit as well.
Here's our championship leader, Chris Soldatis for Soldatis Motorsport and Tingay Smash Repairs from Victoria. He's our championship leader. In beside him, Scott Porter for Porter's Racing. And we haven't seen this car earlier in the season.
No, this is the first time out for the team this weekend. We've got a big race here in the first round of racing against championship leader Chris Soldatis. So he had a perfect view there of Aaron Tremaine getting a win in round one. He knows right now in the back of his mind he wants to keep that lead he's got on Tremaine. He needs to get a win here in round one.
Yeah, he needs a win and he needs to run something down there in that 7:03 or better zone because bonus points for elapsed times are very critical.
Oh, there's issues for Scott Porter on the start line. Championship leader Chris Soldatis. He will go through for a win. Let's have a look at the ET. 7:02. I seen what you got, Aaron Tremaine. This is what I've got. 316 kilometres per hour.
What is it? 3 or 4 thousandths of a second quicker than Tremaine. That'll give him an extra point. You can see there that the Porter's Racing Mustang just dragged through the lights.
Yeah, I think they might have got their clutch setting out a little bit there wrong in the car of the Mustang of Porter's. It just starts to launch there.
Well, this battle between Soldatis and Aaron Tremaine is going to continue.
Well, we're down to the far end here with Aaron Tremaine. Aaron, you just listened to the news. 4 thousandths of a second you've missed out on the lowest ET of the round.
Oh, yeah, we made a pretty good run, so Chris has obviously got his car tuned up as well, so it'll be good, interesting going forward, that's for sure.
Well, you're definitely the rivals at the moment, aren't you? You're second, he's first, so good luck tonight.
Nah, thanks, appreciate it.
I think he's pumped, he's ready. He's going to take it to the line here. Chris Soldatis came out with the majority of the points on 28, Aaron Tremaine on 27, that Western Australian Jody Racco, 26. Then it's Daly, Beecham, Porter, and as I say, Purcell and Tyrone Tremaine, they only get 5 points each because there was no winner in that race. As always, things get hectic in the pits between rounds as they get ready for the next race. Now, Chris Soldatis, championship leader. He stretched his lead by 1 point in that round. Does it matter much? You betcha. He's down there with Matt Kavanagh at the moment.
Coming into this round, Chris Soldatis is 22 points in the lead in the championship, and you've come out in round one and, well, 4 thousandths of a second faster than anybody else.
Yeah, it seemed to go all right. We got didn't think we were going to go that fast. We had dramas in the first round with a clutch in it. It was miles too tight to drag the engine down to 7,700. Shook the tyres pretty bad, so then we took a bit of clutch out of it, and here we are. Didn't go too bad.
We're going to head on to two wheels now with Performance Wholesale Top Bike, where we find those nitro methane powered scooters. The season started with a great outing for Jay Upton up at the Nitro up north, but since then, not quite the season he wants, and the threats are coming. Let's have a look at those points. Upton, 241, but Gavin Spann on 206 and Chris Matheson on 204. They are well within reach. Rusty Gregory's in the pits with the defending champ Matho. Can he close that gap?
Well, Chris Matheson coming into the Super Thunder event this weekend finds himself in a little bit of an unfamiliar position. Third in the championship points, not where you're used to being, Chris.
No, it's better than last, but...
Absolutely. Now, in an attempt to try and curtail that, obviously you've changed a fair bit on the bike, and that's resulted in a fairly interesting couple of weeks for you.
Yeah, we put a new plenum on the supercharger, and we came out and tested a few weeks ago, but in the last sort of shakedown pass, it broke a chain and cut all the chassis and destroyed the side of the body, and it gave us a lot of grief. So we're still finding bits and pieces. We've got a cracked frame on it at the moment, so it's leaking air out the chassis at the minute. So yeah, it's been interesting, busy.
So just to tell the people at home and the people watching, obviously you're sitting on this motorcycle, you're sitting on this framework, and that chain has come up through the bodywork and missed you by not very much.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, it could have been worse, yeah. So it wasn't, so we're lucky the gods were looking on us and we got through it. So now we can put our head down and try and get some results.
Chris Matheson He just loves to get himself on top of this Nitro Voodoo bike. Have a look at that. It's 4-cylinder, supercharged, fuel-injected, nitro-methane burning monster. And Gavin Spann in the other lane on the Noodle Box bike. Now, Mark, this is an old bike, but it's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, the bike of Gavin Spann's has been very, very consistent. He uses that to his advantage over the quicker bikes of, like, say, Chris Matheson and Jay Upton. He goes on the theory, I'm quick, not as quick as those guys, but I'm very consistent. If you have an issue in the lane beside me, I'm going to pounce, and I'm looking for the win.
And he's been, very competitive this season. He's keen to be at the pointy end come the Gulf Western All Winter Nationals when the championship wraps up. He's got out in front with a whole shot. Matho's got too much. Oh, a lot of fume out of that bike of Matheson, but a 6:37 off the throttle way early at 294 kilometres an hour. Gavin Spann took it to him, but man, that bike of Matheson's got so much through the mid-range.
Yeah, have a look at the replay here in Performance Also top bike. Chris Matheson, he got out very strong. Strong to half track, 4.0 seconds. But then there was issues down track. We've seen he started raw fuel coming out of the back of the bike, so that usually means it's dropped some cylinders. The ignition has gone from that bike, and then there was a bit of a haze, which could have almost looked like a bit of oil. As we watch here on the replay front on, you can see the raw fuel coming out of the pipes there, and there was a bit of a haze just before that. There could be issues for Chris Matheson.
I'd expect he was off the throttle before 1,000 foot on that run, before the 300 metre mark. Now here is Jay Upton, very unique view of the bike. You can see the exhaust pipes coming out behind the rear seat. That does a couple of things. Not only does it get all the burnt gases out of there, but it actually works like 4 little jets and forces the back of the bike down, and it actually assists with traction.
Yeah, on screen now we've got Les Holden. Now this is a bit of a different bike. It doesn't have any sort of forced induction. It's got the old school carburetor on the side of the bike, so he's well down on power to these guys, but that's his own unique setup over there. He's just looking to run like mid 750s, low 7-second passes on that bike, and he hopes that Jay Upton has some issues beside him so he can get a win.
Well, Holden, of course, is a lot lighter as a rider-bike combination than the big multi-cylinder that Jay Upton is having troubles on that bike. And it will be Les Holden right down the middle, 766, 274, as you said, mid-sevens, and if anything goes wrong, he gets the win points.
Oh, they'll be ecstatic with that pass for Les Holden, close to his PB. We're on board with Jay Upton. You can see that bike was dropping cylinders there, the raw fuel coming out of those pipes. It's lost spark inside that engine, and I think there might have been some issues with the clutch or something, because it was pretty much on the hit there for Jay Upton.
It won't be the performance that Upton was looking for. Matty's got him in the braking area.
Yeah, we're down here with Jay Upton, and we're just looking at some of the data on his data logger screen down here. Looks like you lost a bit of air pressure there, so you're not changing gears, Jay. You're just trying to get that helmet off. So no clutch is what we're getting from Jay. So yeah, unfortunately the bike, no clutch there, not changing gears for Jay Upton, so he can't get the bike down as he gets the headgear off. Looks like Les Holden, he's gone far down the deep end, not into the sand trap or anything like that. He's just gone down to our second turnaround point, so he's stuck down there. We'll get him down here in a second. Jay, couple of words?
Yeah, a bit of an issue there. I don't know what happened with us sitting there, but seems like we got an air leak of some sort. We just didn't get hardly any drive. Even driving to the start line, it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right, but at the head of the throttle, not much at all. It's a bit like a top fuel dragster. It doesn't have any transmission. The clutch is all air applied, and it just didn't apply the clutch really.
Look at that. Matheson gets 28 points. Les Holden 26. Gavin Spann with just the 12. Upton the 10. That makes it a little bit tough on Spann and Upton to make that championship final, but it's not over yet. Matheson may have got the points, but we also saw a lot of smoke, and it looked like maybe fluid or oil out of that bike. So they're going to have a lot of work to do before round 2. We've sent Rusty Gregory down there to find out what's going on.
Chris Matheson got the win in the first round of racing in top bike, but it came at a cost. Fair bit of engine damage, Chris. A bit of oil out on the racetrack, which I know you don't like to do. And there's a lot of thrashing going on in the pits behind you. What happened?
Don't know. Junked a motor in a nutshell. Probably about 800 foot. So the boys are just putting another one in, and we're doing our best to try and get back out so we can have a run with Jay in the next round.
It's a matchup that a lot of people want to see. They've wanted to see it for a while. Arguably the two quickest bikes in the country. Is it just a matter of getting it back together and then putting a tune-up in it, or just trying to get it back out there with the bits and pieces that you've got?
Oh, no, well, no point going out without a tune. Otherwise you'll junk it or it'll go slow. So we'll try and get it back together and put a tune in it. We've got a bit of data from the last night, and we're out here 3 weeks ago, so we've got a bit of data. So we should be able to get a tune in it. Biggest issue will be trying to get it out there.
An engine swap in that bike is not a quick affair, so that team is going to be thrashing to make round 2. It is vital for his championship chances. Well, stay with us, because straight after this break, we're going to have a funny car feast with All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol. Back to 400 Thunder Championship drag racing at Willowbank Raceway. We're heading into All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol. It's been an interesting season so far. First time winner at the opening round of the championship in the form of Rob Ambrosi, but since then it's been the 19-time Pro Alcohol champion Gary Phillips that's been reasserting his authority on the category. Matt Kavanagh's down there with Gary in the pits.
Currently in the lead by 30 points is our championship leader, Gary Phillips. Great to have you back here at Willowbank, Gary.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's be good with the weather like it is. Be good, be perfect.
Last round here at Willowbank, you had a perfect round, really. Took every point you could. How does it feel going into that with a bit of confidence?
Oh, you're only as good as your next run, So, we're quietly confident, but, we'll see what happens. For Alpine, they're behind us 100%. Speed flow, we're really looking forward to it. It'll be tough.
Well, have a look at the points as they stand. Gary Phillips is on top, 30 points ahead of Rob Ambrosi from Victoria. Defending champion Stephen Reed in the All-Star Batteries funny car. He's within striking distance, as is Chris Hargrave. Then it's Russell Mills, Wayne Price, Marsden, Walsh, Johnson and White. Into round 1 of 3 rounds of all-run action. Mark, this is just the best style for Pro Alcohol.
That it is. On track, we've got Wayne Price. Now, he was actually scheduled to race Chris Hargrave in this round of racing. Unfortunately, in the test session earlier today, Hargrave hurt the motor. He'll be back out in round 2, but there just wasn't enough time in the 90 minutes between testing to this round 1 of racing to get it fixed. So Wayne Price will benefit with the solo pass here.
Well, Willowbank Raceway is located inland, just in from Ipswich, and it's away from the coast. On the coast today, we've had plenty of rain by all reports, but out here we've still got sunshine. The conditions are great. I think the threat of the wet stuff has kept the crowd numbers down a bit, but the racing is hot. Have a look at Price.
Wayne Price goes through, runs a 5.63 at 399 kilometres per hour there. That is a great first pass here in Pro Alcohol, brought to us by All-Star Batteries. Have a look at the replay here. Straight down the middle. It was perfectly smooth pass for the team. I'm sure they're going to be absolutely ecstatic with that.
Yeah, I couldn't see any shake. I couldn't see any problems. It's a great first round, and of course, 20 win points. He'll get some bonus points. He's with Matt Kavanagh.
Wayne Price, you got yourself a solo run this time. Of course, Chris Hargrave couldn't make it, but 20 points in the bag.
Yeah, fantastic. What'd we run?
You ran a 5.60 something, I believe.
Oh, good. No, it kicked up really good.
Well, that's good. Hopefully the car's feeling good.
Going great. Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Well, here is the All-Star Batteries man, Stephen Reed, in the Chev Monte Carlo funny car. A little bit of squirt of fuel on the butterflies to stop them freezing.
Luke Marsden on screen for Race Products this weekend. The second time out for the team this season in Pro Alcohol. He's got a tough one, the defending champion and Stephen Reed beside him. Let's talk horsepower for a second with the Pro Alcohol cars. A V8 supercar has approximately, 700 horsepower? These two funny cars on the start line, 4,000 horsepower in each lane.
They'll use it all off the start line by the sound of that. The revs are right up.
Issues for Marsden. defending champion Stephen Reid will get the win. He goes 5.58, 412 kilometres per hour. That's low ET of the round there for Stephen Reid. The crew will be happy here.
Absolutely, guys. Down here with Daniel Reid, son of Steve. Mate, the old bloke didn't want to go into stage there first. A little bit of a staging duel to kick things off. Was that in the plan?
I don't know if it's the plan. He just always wants to get his RPM exactly right. He's too particular. It annoys us all, but he had troubles that last run rolling the beams too, so he wanted to give himself the best chance he can possible of not doing it again, basically.
Well, Steve Reid's just got his helmet off, mate. You've gone a 5.58, and we've only had a couple of cars in, but 5.58's a great time here at Willowbank.
Yeah, that's 5.58's okay. We've got a pretty good 5.50 car. We just got to somehow figure out how to run 5.40s consistently. So that's about what we thought it would run. So that's terrific.
Yeah, it looks like you're on top of the gremlins from last time.
Yeah, well, that's where we ended up last meeting. So if we start there, well, it's good.
Well, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
It looked like Luke Marsden had a bit of tyre shake in the lane beside him. Might have underestimated how good this track is as we're on board now with Robert Ambrosi. Won his first ever Pro Outlaw around the start of the championship, has sort of gone downhill a little bit since then, so he'll be looking to get it back underway here. As you can see, he is focused, he is determined there on the start line, and he'll be taking on the altered here of Justin Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh, the Queenslander, he's elected to go the open route, like he's, well, gets a little bit of breeze in the cockpit, so to speak. This car is patented, very loosely patented, after 1927 T-model Ford. Well, it's been hot-rodded a bit. It's got a funny car engine in it, and it's fast. Ambrosi on and off the throttle. It will be Justin Walsh with a good 5.65, 400 kilometres an hour. That's a fast pass in an altered, Rusty.
Absolutely, a PB 565 and a bad job of red lighting on the Christmas tree. 017 on the tree. Down here with Fred Westhoff from the crew, mate. You guys have got to be happy with that.
Yeah, Rusty, look, you know, we're in and out of so many different cars, as you guys know, and yesterday in the testing, you know, we after the first burnout, I thought, you know, Walshy's on, and that's the evidence right there. PB, BP mile an hour, that's doing it, so that's great.
016 reaction time on the green side is just telepathic.
Yeah, look at the replay. Ambrosi actually lifted the wheels up and went towards the wall. He had to button it off. Just watch here from behind. The wheels up, he goes over towards the wall. He had to button off, had a little bit of shake as well. Matt Kavanagh with Justin Walsh.
Oh, look, the boys are happy down here. Justin Walsh has come in with the win his first round of racing, and I believe it's a PB of 5.65.
Oh, that's beautiful, mate. Look, we're slowly creeping up on the tune-up on this car. She's a little bit different to the rest of the field. We've got a converter in there instead of a clutch, so, yeah, we're happy. 5.65. We'll see if we can lean on a bit more for round two and get another win.
I believe that's the third fastest time as well, lowest DT.
Yeah, excellent. Great news. Thanks, guys.
Next pairing up, Gary Phillips, this 19 times Pro Alcohol champion. You can add one in Pro Slammer as well to give him 20 all up, but 19 in this category. And he takes on Greg Clayton in another one of these alters, and Greg's doing it a little bit differently, Mark.
Yeah, he is in the altered. The thing with the alters is that they aren't as quick as the dragsters and the funny cars because aerodynamically it's just not there. They don't have a body around there cutting through the air down the finish line. And when you're doing over 400 kilometres per hour, those aerodynamics on a funny car body help immensely.
But they are lighter than the funny cars, and that can make up the difference in the first half of the racetrack. It's always tough against Gary Phillips, though.
Taking it to him.
Well, he really did take it to him all the way down. 5.46 at 429 for Phillips, a 5.69 for Clayton. A great race in All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol.
That's the quickest pass we've seen so far this season in Pro Alcohol. These cool conditions are conclusive for making horsepower. The track here at Willowbank Raceway, it's got some bite. A 5.46, you'd seen it there from Gary Phillips. Low ET off the first round. He gets the 20 points, extends the championship. Matt Kavanagh, you've got him there.
Oh, look at this. Gary Phillips is getting out of the car, mate. You're going to be happy with this one. 5.46 and 267 miles an hour.
We're trying, guys. I said the track was really good. Watched our mate over here kick ass. Justin. Yes! And, yeah, it was really good after, you know, we were playing yesterday and we learned a fair bit of stuff. On your buddy. Good stuff.
Good to see you happy. We'll see you in the next round.
Fantastic.
Man, oh man, Gary Phillips, you can't take it away from him, can you? 28 points. Stephen Reed, he's not going to give up that championship easily. He gets 27. Wayne Price, 26. Justin Walsh, 25. Clayton Ambrosi and Marsden have got it all to do in round 2. These teams have got about 90 minutes to fully service these cars, the clutches, the engines, the trans, everything involved, to turn them around and be ready for round 2 when it comes up. One guy going there full of confidence will be Justin Walsh after running one of the quickest passes we've ever seen in a Pro Alcohol Altered.
Well, Justin Walsh got the win in the first round of racing and in the process set his personal best time, 5:65. That puts you in the realms of one of the quickest altereds in the country, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, look, we're really happy, Rusty, to have the car running that fast. A long time ago, there was a car Mark Sheehan had, and he was always the target, and that was what I wanted to build a car to make it run as fast as him. So I think he might have run a 5:64 in testing or something once upon a time, but we've already set the national record with a 5:69. So to improve on that with a 5:65 is really good for the team.
I guess the next question is there any more left in it? Because you're racking up round wins, you're racking up points, but the thing's quick as well.
Oh, look, there's plenty more left in this car. We still run this with the mentality like we did when we ran in competition eliminator, and it's about consistency.
Well, the sun has set here at Willowbank Raceway. The rain has stayed away, and we're heading into round 2 of Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock under lights. Paul Beecham to take on Wayne Daly.
Yeah, what I take out of round 1 for the team, especially a Wayne Daly on screen, they had been struggling with a lot of shake issues. That pass, it was a tiny little bit off what they probably expected ET-wise, but it was smooth off the start line. I think that is a point for them in the right direction with that car, going back to what we know they can do. But he will be taking on Next Gen Engineering Power in the lane beside him with Paul Beecham.
Yeah, Wayne Daly for Diamond T Custom Toolboxes. Brett Riley's crew chief just says it's all up to you now. Round 2 of Next Gen Engineering Pro Stock. You see the red shift lights coming on, they're grabbing gears. Daly's trying to keep it off the centre line. Now he's got to keep it off the wall. He's got a wind light, 702, 310 kilometres an hour. He's used every bit of that Willowbank Raceway 400.
Wow, that's low ET of the event, and I said he was heading in the right direction, and he used, as you just mentioned, Rob, he used a lot of track there. There's probably a couple of hundred ET lost in moving around. He gets the win. Beecham was gallant beside him, but it was all Wayne Daly here.
Well, Wayne Daly's down here after the round 2. You've got yourself a win, but you got yourself a rocket as well. This thing's on a, it's going fast, 702.
Well, we know this car is that good, and we got a bit lost on our way over the last 2 or 3 meetings, and today's about getting it ready for Sydney and seeing if we get ourselves a national record.
702, Mark. Depending on how the cards fall, he's got a possibility of still making a final, despite the fact that Jody Racco beat him in round 1.
And I'll tell you what, he's got a bit of confidence talking about the national record. That's a 688 Pro Stock, so it's a big call there from Wayne Daly. Scott Porter on screen though, Rob, coming forward in that Mustang. It looks like he's on a solo pass here.
He will run on his own. He was scheduled to run Jody Racco, but Racco's done some valve train damage in the second of those Diamond T Custom Toolboxes car. So the Porter's Racing Mustang, he'll get 20 win points. Let's see what he can do in the ET department. Nice out of the line. Working through that 5-speed transmission, comes up with a 708, 312. He's there, he's in the ballpark.
That is, well, it's all new power for this team on board this weekend, so they're all learning what the car needs, what it needs in the clutch, what the engine needs, as well, the chassis, the suspension. You've got to bring all those factors in when you've got the Pro Stock cars here to get them down in that low 7-second region. But Scott Porter will pick up 20 points on a 708, might get him some bonus points as well.
Oh, we're coming over, mate. You've got yourself a win. Scotty Porter, you're down the far end. It hasn't all been luck in your first probably round back here in Pro Stock this year, but got some points in the championship.
Mate, been doing it tough, but hey, we're just here testing, getting on top of the new combo. And when I 08 them was all right, but I run half a decent speed, 194, so that's okay. It's a good starting point.
I think Scotty Porter's a bit greedy. He says, that's okay. I mean, that's not okay. That's very good.
He wins best mow in Pro Stock at the moment as well.
Aaron Tremaine there on screen, and he's got to run his brother, Tyrone Tremaine. It's a mega battle of the Mega Bog Fuels cars for Tremaniac Racing and, of course, Next Gen Engineering, the sponsors of the category here at Willowbank Raceway this weekend. Good Friday. It's a great Friday.
We're on board with Aaron Tremaine there, coming forward, just edging the car slightly to the start line there. You'll see his crew member just guiding him in because the view inside the Pro Stock cars, it's very limited, so it's hard to see where those staging beams are. They have the crew members out in front of them, just guiding them, let them know when they're about 3-4 inches away from that spot, and then they get focused.
No start line problems for Tyrone Tremaine this time. It left well. Not well enough to beat his brother though. A 6.98 for Aaron Tremaine, a 7.03 for Tyrone, 3.14 for Tyrone, 3.16 kilometres an hour for Aaron Tremaine. He's racking up some points.
We knew the conditions were good here at Willowbank Raceway. Aaron Tremaine just showed it here. The first 6-second pass of the weekend, and he gets the win against his brother.
Well, Aaron Tremaine, he's trying to take over the lead from Soldatus. Matt Kavanagh, he might do it.
Yeah, Aaron Tremaine, you've got down the end. You got yourself the win over your brother. I mean, it's a bit of rivalry going on there, but you've done the first 6 of this round.
Yeah, mate, car felt pretty good there. It was a little bit bumpy across the bumps, but, you know, I think it'll probably drop a little bit more from now on. As long as the track stays there, we can probably go a bit quicker again.
Bit of a firing shot to Soldatus if he makes it through to the final with that 6.98.
Oh, we'll see how he goes this run here, eh?
Well, Chris Soldatus, he got 28 points from round 1. That won't matter unless he can get a win here. He needs to win, or he needs to run a very good losing ET. That's what it comes down to.
Chris Soldatus has the horsepower on board as well. He just would have seen Aaron Tremaine run that 6.98. He'd be licking his lips here on his pass, thinking, you know what, you can do that. I want to see if I can dip into the 6s as well, but it's all about getting that tune-up right, the setup right here in Pro Stock. And he's got a man in the lane beside him, Rob.
I was going to say, don't write off Brian Purcell because he's got a lot of horsepower under the bonnet of the Andergrove store. Pontiac from Mackay. Oh, I think the jump looked to me to be with Purcell. Purcell!
Upset
7.09 beats a 7.10. He had the whole shot and he stretched it by 100th.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. Purcell got out on him. We're on board with Soldatus. You can see Purcell driving away from him. Like he got the shift points right there, but it was just slow. Not too sure there for Soldatus, but Purcell, he gets the win and does a job for the Next Gen Engineering team as well of Tremaine's.
Brian Purcell will let you catch your breath, but how is that? You've taken down Chris Soldatus in round number 2 and got yourself a win.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, actually. It's been a pretty hard day, which is usually the game with here. A bit hotter than what I actually thought it would be today. So, but yeah, really need the win for sure.
That is a big turnaround in the championship because Aaron Tremaine and Wayne Daly are the high point scorers. They go to the championship final. Chris Soldatus, Scott Porter, Brian Purcell, Racco's out, Tremaine and Beecham, they can run for the also-ran points. The biggest slices of those points and the trophies are going to go to Tremaine and Daly. Well, stay with us because after the break, we're heading back to Performance Wholesale Top Bike and all of that action in All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol. Welcome back to the Super Thunder here at Willowbank Raceway as we head for some more action from the fastest motorcycles in Australia. We are talking about Performance Wholesale Top Bike. Bikes capable of running well over 350 kilometres an hour. Here's one of them, Gavin Spann on the Noodle Box backed 4-cylinder supercharged fuel injected nitro burner.
And in the lane beside him will be Les Holden on his Nitro Harley. These guys are trying a new fuel setup this weekend on the bike. It's using a lot more fuel than the previously used on a pass, about a litre of nitro a run.
Well, it paid off for him in round one. He got the win. If he wins this, he's going to the Major Championship final later on tonight. Gavin Spann, well, he had a tough race against Matho in round one. He needs to win this, and he needs to drop down to a good elapsed time. And then it's in the lap of the gods. Who's got the points? Oh, Holden skirting with a centre line. Gavin Spann rolls off the throttle, runs a 7:01 at just 262 kilometres an hour. That's good for the win, though.
Yeah, you probably won't get many bonus points at the moment when we've seen the likes of Matheson run into that low 6 second zone, but it was a good pass for the team. Like, they were out pretty strong. They were on a high 6 second run, but they had to get off the throttle there across the finish line. He gets the win. Les Holden was way over towards the centre line. I don't know how he didn't touch it, but Matt Kavanagh is with Gavin Spann.
Well, we're quickly coming in, grab Gavin Spann now. He's had a quick drink, a 7:01, not a bad run, buttoned off early again, but you get yourself a win.
Yeah, that's good. I think the way it's got to work out, I think I'll be in the final now. I got enough points, so anyway, it went better than last run.
Well, I reckon you definitely go in the final because I'm hearing Jay Upton didn't front for his run.
No, there's Matho going now, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So we'll see what happens in the final.
Yeah, Gavin Spann has got more points now than Les Holden, with Jay Upton not being able to front due to engine damage. That will put the Spanner man straight into the final, and he's going to face this guy, Chris Matheson, on the Nitro Voodoo. He's got a bye run now. He's got the opportunity to do, well, just see exactly where he is with the tune-up now that he's done the engine change.
Yeah, Chris Matheson coming forward. This bike's got about 1,500 to 2,000 horsepower.
Looks like he's using a lot of it too to half track. Clicked it off at half track. More smoke out of that thing. 642, only 270 kilometres an hour. He can run well over 350, but he shut it off at half track, or it shut itself off.
I'm looking at this, Rob, and Chris Matheson, he got out strong. Like, he was strong to half track for a very, very low 6 second pass, but what concerns me is it was very, very similar to that first round of racing. The raw fuel out of the pipes, and there was a bit of a haze again.
Yeah, there is that haze. He lost an engine in round one, but he's got the maximum points, so he will be going to the final against Gavin Spann, Les Holden, and if Jay Upton can repair in time for round three, he gets the opportunity to come out and compete for some points. They will be vital if he can do it. Moving now into round two of All-Star Batteries Pro Alcohol. Here's the man that has run one of the quickest Pro Alcohol altered runs we've ever seen in the country, Justin Walsh for Hart's Paint Supplies.
I tell you what, Rob, the only 400s behind him was this man, Greg Clayton, and also one of the quickest passes we've seen by an altered here in Australia. This is going to be a match-up for the ages here. I was hoping these guys would race, and it's happened.
Clayton with the Elite Motor Company on board for the first time as a backer. He'll be very keen to put down something special. How's the GoPro on the helmet of Justin Walsh? That'll be getting some good pictures.
Some wild pictures.
Two Pro Alcohol Altereds going head-to-head in this All-Star Batteries back category. Willowbank Raceway for the Super Thunder. Good Friday. What a way to kick off your Easter.
Walsh went 565 in round one. Greg Clayton went 569. Nothing between them at all. Oh no, I think Clayton's just dragged through. He couldn't hold that altered in stage. Walsh will get the automatic win.
Clayton won't get a time. He gets a red light, but he was out there. And have a look at Justin Walsh, a 571. Clayton stayed in front of him. Wouldn't you love to see what that time was? It was quick.
That looked quick from Greg Clayton. That's a shame that the car's just dragged through on the clutch. By the looks of it, they might have just revved it up a little too high and it's grabbed in stage. You can see him he's trying to hold the crew. Dismayed there, but.
Well, Justin Walsh, he was very quick again. He's got 2 wins from 2 starts. It'll all come down to those bonus points, Matt.
Well, Justin Walsh was outside of the altar, Justin. 571, you buttoned him off early, but you got yourself a win.
Yeah, mate, buttoned it off a little early and probably shifted 1-2 a bit early because, unfortunately, Greg rolled the beams and it kind of throws your routine in your head. Would have been good to race him heads up, but hey, I'll take the win.
No worries, good luck in round 3.
Thanks, mate.
2 wins from 2 starts, but it's going to come down to those all-important bonus points for who has the quickest ET, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way down to 8th quickest ET, you get points. Rob Ambrosi in the gold funny car up against Wayne Price in the Mopar. Both Victorians have made the big tow up to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland to take on this round of Pro Alcohol, all brought to us by All Star Batteries.
Ambrosi bringing that funny car into stage.
Wayne Price going with him. Now they start to boost those revs up, ready to drop the hammer. Ambrosi got out first. Price has got plenty of speed across the line, nothing in it. 570 is a whole shot win over Wayne Price's 558. I said Ambrosi got out first. His reaction time was better enough to hold the win despite the slower elapsed time.
Listen to this, Rob. 0.001 of a second win margin to Rob Ambrosi.
1,000th of a second winning margin, and the popular Victorian Rob Ambrosi, he's going to get to have a chat with Matt Kavanagh, and he loves a chat.
Rob, you got yourself a whole shot win, but that's how you win these races.
Well, mate, look, we've creeped up on the fuel system. We've changed a lot of things since last meeting, and we're looking at going faster, but in small steps. In small steps. So I'm excited. All the changes that we've made have worked. So my daughter Monique and my crew Steph, which have done a lot of work on this system, and Peter and Tim, mate, I just want to thank everyone for all the help and everyone watching us on Facebook and Instagram and everything that's out there watching. My wife's not here at the moment, my other daughter, but anyway, they missed out, didn't they? So,
well, good luck in round 3.
Thank you.
Oh, Ambrosi's always pumped when he gets a win, but he knows that he needed 2 wins to go to a final. He's not there. He's got 1 from 2.
Yeah, we actually have a rematch here, Rob, of round 1 of racing. It's Luke Marston take on Stephen Reed, the defending 400 Thunder Pro Alcohol champion in round 1 of racing. Stephen Reed got the win. Marston looking for a revenge here in round 2.
Yeah, the way it works is in round 1 of racing, they're seeded by where they are in the championship at that point. In round 2, they're seeded by what points they score in round 1. And it just happens to be that these 2 race each other again. Marston for Race Products and Stephen Reed for All Star Batteries. They're locked in. Marston got a little jump. Marston in front at half track. Oh, another great race. A 5:47 was needed by Stephen Reed to drive around the outside of Luke Marston. 14 km/h advantage across the finish line was vital, Mark.
That it was. Stephen Reed, that's a PB for the team as well. A 5:47. He needed all of that and a little bit more to get around Luke Marston here in round 2. They're travelling at about 110 metres per second there at top speed across the finish line in these funny cars, and Matt Kavanagh is with our winner.
Well, Stephen Reed's down the far end after round 2, and it's a 5:47. You're in the 40s here back at Willowbank. How good is that?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, we've run a couple of 40s before, but we've been in the 550 wilderness for a little while now, so we've got a race car back. Cool.
Well, you chased some gremlins last time here at Willowbank, but looks like you're on top of them.
Yeah, things are going okay. Let's see what we can do for the next round.
Good luck. Thank you.
Well, by my calculations, he's grabbed a spot in the final.
I'm thinking you're on the money there, Rob. And
he got 27 points in the first round, and he's just run a 40, so he's going to get more points than Justin Walsh in the second round. So he will have more points than Justin Walsh. Now, here's a race. If Chris Hargrave can beat Gary Phillips, Justin Walsh goes in the final. If Gary Phillips wins this and runs any sort of ET, he'll go into the final beside Stephen Reed.
Well, looking at this matchup here, Chris Hargrave obviously wasn't out in round 1 due to some engine damage in testing. He is here in round 2, so he hasn't got the data that the other teams have got after their first round of racing. Will it matter for the C&W Electrical Wholesale team? We'll find out very shortly, because he's got a big task beside him in Gary Phillips.
On and off the throttle for Hargraves. Phillips runs 5:42 with a 9, 420 kilometres an hour, and I'm not sure he drove it all the way through. I think he was still off at a fraction early.
Well, the bar just gets lowered and lowered here in Pro Alcohol. We're on board with Chris Hargrave, but you'll see from there, the right of screen, he's pedalling there, and Gary Phillips streaks away to the quickest pass we've seen in the 400 Thunder Pro Alcohol Championship this season.
Gary Phillips, 19 championships already in Pro Alcohol. Could this be the 20th for him this year?
Oh, Gary, you got a big smile on your face once again. Things don't get any better this year. You just did a 42 and went low ET again. And guess who's going to be your opposition in the final?
Steve Reed.
Who else would it be?
Hey, I mean, Alpine Fresh Refrigerated Transport, Lumen Lighting, all my crew, Speed Flow Fittings. Hey, how good's the weather? Everyone that's sitting at home watching on live stream, you should be here because it is perfect.
I tell you what, Shane's going to be pretty happy because I'm hearing about 214 mile an hour at half track.
Yeah, no, it was trucking pretty good. It left good. We got our hot rod back. Full moon too. We can howl tonight.
Have a look at these points. Gary Phillips on the maximum, 56. Stephen Reed on 54. Justin Walsh on 48. Unlucky not to make the final this weekend, I reckon. Price, Ambrosi, Marsden, Clayton and Hargrave have all added to their tallies this weekend. Gary Phillips spoke too soon. The moon was out when we ran round 2, and before we could even get to the finals, this is what's happened at Willowbank Raceway. It rained in Brisbane most of the day. It threatened a little bit, but then out of the darkness, without any warning, it's tumbled down, and unfortunately that's the end of the Super Thunder. Let's have a look at the final points across our categories then. Aaron Tremaine takes over the lead in Pro Stock. A great win in Next Gen Engineering category for him. Soldatus, Tyrone Tremaine, Jody Racco and Wayne Daly, our top 5. Into the top bikes for Performance Wholesale. Chris Matheson has gone from 3rd to top in one foul swoop. Gavin Spann has stayed there in 2nd. Jay Upton on 276. The Battle Royal is on. 2 more rounds of the category. It is going to be tight. And we mentioned before, can Gary Phillips grab a 20th Pro Alcohol Championship? You'd have to think it's on the cards, but Stephen Reed, he's got a hot rod again with the All-Star Batteries funny car. It ain't over yet. Ambrosi close enough to challenge. It is going to be a dramatic conclusion to the 400 Thunder Championship when we all meet at Willowbank Raceway on June 6 to 9 for the Gulf Western Oil Winter Nationals, the final round of the championship for everything from junior drags to the top fuel. Before we get to the Winter Nationals, though, of course, we have got the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder at Sydney Dragway. We've got a mile of action to bring you from that, so make sure you join us then.
Coming up after the break, we head into the Speedweek studios for the final round of Speedweek E-Series Season 2, powered by Gran Turismo Sport and PlayStation 4.